Today we had a really interesting speech given by JD Vance at the Artificial Intelligence Action Summit in Paris, France, and I wanted to go over some of his commentary and really show how this is really amazing, bullish news, especially for American technology, especially the Mag 7. So if you look over here at NVIDIA stock, we see our year-to-date performance, right? We had this massive 17-18% dip from DeepSeek, and everybody's sort of on the fence about what DeepSeek means. Basically, all of tech is pretty flat over the last month and a half since the year started up. And so, we're kind of seeing in the market that people are maybe a little uncertain of the path ahead, the path forward. But JD Vance gives a speech basically talking to all the EU politicians and regulators, and he wants us to win. He wants the United States technology companies to be on the forefront of AI. And so let's go through this video, a few different timestamps, and sort of dissect what he's saying.
I'd like to make 4 main points today. Number 1, this administration will ensure that American AI technology continues to be the gold standard worldwide, and we are the partner of choice for others, foreign countries, and certainly businesses as they expand their own use of AI. Number 2, we believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off, and we'll make every effort to encourage pro-growth AI policies, and I like to see that deregulatory flavor making its way into a lot of the conversations this conference. Number 3, we feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship. And finally, number 4, the Trump administration will maintain a pro-worker growth path for AI, so it can be a potent tool for job creation in the United States. And I appreciate Prime Minister.
So this is the thing. We hear JD Vance come to Europe, and he's telling people, hey, the United States is at the forefront of this technology, and we're going to stay that way. But in order to stay that way, this administration is taking a deregulatory approach, basically a hands-off approach, allowing American companies to just gobble up whatever they can of the AI sector, do whatever they want, and really spur innovation in the sector. So this is super pro-growth for that. He says that he wants to keep AI free. So remove any ideological. This turns it into a more bipartisan. Hey, everybody can benefit from this. This isn't just a right-wing thing. It's not a left-wing thing. This isn't an argument where, hey, we're going to let China take this over. No, we don't want the authoritarian regimes in Russia and China to take AI from us. We want the free Western world to be at the forefront of this tech, and we want to keep it that way. The last thing that he says is about he wants to be pro-worker. So he's trying to ease the minds of EU regulators and say, hey, even though AI so far has been talked about something that might replace your workers, no, we don't see it that way. We see it as something that's going to enhance our productivity, not replace humans, and not basically upend people's lives and remove people from their jobs. Here's the next clip.
Integral to advancing AI technology, and to safeguard America's advantage, the Trump administration will ensure that the most powerful AI systems are built in the U.S. with American-designed and manufactured chips.
Boom. Boom. Bombshell. Amazing. Trump and Vance want to keep AI and chip design in the U.S., make it American-made. What companies are going to benefit from that? Automatically, we see NVIDIA, right? This is the AI darling of this whole story. Over the past few years, it's up 11x from its lows in 2022. This is not American made. It's made. Their chips go to TSMC. However, they are American designed, and so Vance here is essentially saying, hey, we want to keep it this way. We want our NVIDIAs, our AMDs, our American companies that are designing chips to be at the forefront. And so they want to make this happen. So really big for NVIDIA. Also other chip makers like Intel and AMD, although they're more by the wayside right now. They need to catch up to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is number 1 here.
Now we invite your countries to work with us and to follow that model if it makes sense for your nations. However, the Trump administration is troubled by reports that some foreign governments are considering tightening the screws on U.S. tech companies with international footprints. Now, America cannot and will not accept that, and we think it's a terrible mistake, not just for the United States of America, but for your own countries. The U.S. innovators of all sizes already know what it's like to deal with onerous international rules. Many of our most productive tech companies are forced to deal with the EU's Digital Services Act and the massive regulations it created about taking down content and policing so-called misinformation. And of course, we want to ensure the internet is a safe place, but it is one thing to prevent a predator from preying on a child on the internet, and it is something quite different to prevent a grown man or woman from accessing an opinion that the government thinks is misinformation. Meanwhile, for smaller firms, navigating the GDPR means paying endless legal compliance costs or otherwise risking massive fines. Now, for some, the easiest way to avoid the dilemma has been to simply block EU users in the first place. Is this really the future that we want? Ladies and gentlemen, I think the answer for all of us should be no.
And the answer is no. The answer is no. Thank you, JD Vance. No, I love what he's saying here. This is really huge, guys. This is huge statements that Vice President Vance is making here. We, for far too long, I mean, you see it time and time again where Microsoft, Amazon, Google, like Apple, all of these American companies have been fined millions upon millions, billions of dollars over the course of many years, and many of these companies they're just forced to pay up. They're forced to pay up because the EU says that they have monopolistic practices or whatever the case might be. But JD Vance, standing before all of these leaders of the Western world, is standing up and he's saying, we don't want you to fine or heavily regulate our companies. The United States is here to stay in front of tech, and you should want it that way. It's not just, hey guys, U.S. is leading, and the U.S. leading means you guys are screwed, so get over it. No. JD Vance is saying this entire speech, he's saying the U.S. is number one, and you should want us to be number one, because the alternative is China. If the U.S. isn't number one in AI, it's going to be China. And so the more that you regulate our U.S. tech giants, our U.S. companies, and fine them with these regulatory costs and fees, you guys are actually going to be the ones that don't benefit. And we see this time again in the EU, right? There's a reason why the U.S. stock market is number one in the world. The S&P 500 has around 10% average returns over the last 100 years. It's because the U.S. has created a regulatory environment that is friendly toward innovation. And the European Union, the great, I have nothing against them, but their regulatory environment is a nightmare. And so what Vice President Vance is saying right now is, hey guys, you need to stop doing this to our companies, or you guys are going to continue to pay the price. And before, hey, okay, if you do this to the iPhone or maybe Google Search or something like that, Meta, whatever it is, maybe you're not missing out on a ton. But if you're doing this to AI companies, you're going to start missing out on a lot of amazing innovation. I mean, this is the next gigantic piece of our world economy. And so he's encouraging EU regulators, hey, stop it. Let's all work together. The U.S. is going to be at the forefront. Let us lead, and we'll pull you along with us. And that's what JD's saying. And I want to point this out, guys. This Word document right here is pointing out the 6 primary things that personally I believe lead to the widespread adoption of a technology. And so first is value and utility. Okay, AI has some value. AI has utility. We know that. Usability and accessibility. Anybody can type in ChatGPT and go straight to it. Go to Gemini. Go to Anthropic's Claude. Whatever. Market demand and timing. Well, anybody can see right now. We've got the demand. We've got the timing. So first 4, we're going strong. Number 5. Government and regulation, the policies, funding, and legal frameworks that can either support innovation or create barriers. And this is where a lot of different countries fail. Humans are naturally innovative and naturally curious. If government gets in the way of that, the innovation dies. If there's no reason, if there's no incentives for humans to go out on a limb and create these amazingly awesome, groundbreaking technologies, they're not going to do it. And so we're at number 5 right now. And what Trump and Vance are saying is, hey, we want to go out, we want to put America first, and we want to bring the Western world, the free Western world with us. 6 is promotion and perception. I think we got that down. So we got right now the United States has all 6 of these. AI is the future. But Vance is going out on a limb. He's saying, guys, either get with us or you're going to get left behind. And so we'll see what happens. But definitely an interesting speech from JD Vance. Thank you guys for watching.